Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. You guys, we're here because Michelle, I believe you pronounce her last name Marimbe, something like that. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. No disrespect, but shout out to you for telling me that I skipped the best part. She said, listen, I can't believe on Real Housewives of Atlanta, you skipped the part with Sheree and Kenya. It was the funniest part. And y'all know I watch reviewers. I have since watched a couple of reviewers who also said, well, actually one so far. And he said that she was a G. Whoever this woman was, she was a G. So I'm like, okay, I gotta watch it. And I gotta do a quick update on it. And y'all, I'm gonna see if I can find it before I wrap up here. But Sheree and Drew going back and forth. Okay, Drew. Listen, still don't like her. Still don't like her. But she reading like a Chicagoan. I said, okay, she is definitely holding her own with Sheree. I'm gonna see if I can find the back and forth before we get off here. But in the meantime, if you have not already, please like, comment, subscribe. And if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing seriously. And everybody else, all my peeps, my beautiful people, family, hey, let's talk about it. All right, y'all. So we have Sheree showing up at her audition. She gets out the car, and you know how on Top Model, when Tyra would show up, they would be like, "Oh my God, it's Tyra! Hey, Tyra!" Yeah, these people, her 7 people that she had in line, like barely waved to her. She's like, "Hey!" They were like, "Hey, Sheree," like they know her, and she's like, "You guys look great." They're like, "You too." All right, see you inside. But one thing I can say about Sheree, you guys, body be banging. Okay, you can't say nothing about her body. Yeah, I don't know where I got that from. It was from a white show. I can't remember the name of it. It was a funny show though. These 2 white girls would always be like, "Body be banging." All right, so going in, Sheree meets us. Laura, Sheree introduces us to Rawan, and she says that she's seen her show and, her work, and she's really good. And Rawan is standing there in her little Gucci scarf, okay, and she talks like this, but she's kind of whispering, so that makes Sheree whisper, and I'm like, okay, she's very even keeled, I guess, and that's why we got to talk like we're in a library. You know what? I'm going to do my best for you. We got it. We're going to do it. And okay, we'll take it. That's fine. All right, so Kenya comes in looking fabulous, and because Sheree tells Rawan, listen, I invited a girlfriend, and that bitch can be a little shady. So I feel like Rawan was already on guard when she came in because you could tell when Sheree stood to greet Kenya and everything, and everybody smiling. Rawan was not smiling, and I'm like, okay, she's already on one, and I'm sure she's seen the show, and you're either Team Twirl or you're not. Even though this year, Kenya is way better, and I have never been Team Twirl, but I am Team Kenya this year. So Kenya comes in, and Sheree introduces them, and she goes, Rawan is the one that's in charge of my show. And she's like, well, would you ask her why she didn't have me post so she could have had way more people here? Like she could have had a line around the block. Because literally, Sheree got like 7 people there. And the lady's like, she didn't even miss a beat though. She's just like, yeah, we're going to do it later on or whatever. So out of Sheree's wishes, we just kept it on a down low. And Kenya's like, well, you can't have a lot of people keeping it on the down low. She's like, you didn't have to put her name, but you can't have a down low and expect a lot of people. And I'm like, sis Rawan, do you even know what down low means? Like, really? Y'all, Kenya is dumb. You know what? Michelle was right. This shit got me dying laughing. She's so stupid, but she's not wrong. Like, she's just like, listen, Sheree, you seemed a little overwhelmed, but, and Sheree's like, I'm still overwhelmed. And I'm like, because Sheree is just lazy as all hell. She don't want to do none of this anyway. And King is just like, listen, why are we facing this way? Why are we not facing like a runway? And Rawan is just like, because this is the way that I normally do my shows. And King is like, oh, okay, the wrong way. Because why are we not facing the runway like every other show? Like, that's the whole point of it. And all you hear is Sheree going, Kenya, stop it. But here's my thing with Sheree doing that whole Kenya. You never hear her saying that shit to Marlo. When Marlo just be going crazy, you don't ever hear Sheree trying to stop her. So Sheree, pipe down, okay? So Kenya in the confessional is just like, listen, this, attitude, being all laid back or whatever is not going to work. It's not going to help you. You're under fire. You need to wake up. And I'm like, yeah, Rawan or whatever her name is, she got to get her head out of her ass and like really wake up for real, for real. Because sure, even Kenya was just like, how are you going to have something that's known if you are not putting a name and face to it, and like you're not really promoting it? So I'm still on Kenya's team at this point. Y'all. So Rawan is like, we can move some chairs. So as they're moving chairs or whatever, her and her guy, I don't know if it's her guy, but the guy that works with her, um, Kenya is saying to Sheree, you need to get some real models. And she's in the background answering. And I'm just like, first of all, she wasn't even talking to you, but that's okay. Because Rawan is like, well, you need a budget for real models. And Sheree is like, well, what do you need, Rawan? What do you need? And I'm like, why is this not something that you guys already talked about? And she's like, it's about 250 to 500 a day or something like that for the. And she's like, yeah, real models from an agency. And Kenya's like, girl, you got to call on some people. Like, you got to get some real models up in here. It's too late, Kenya. Like, Sheree is her biggest, she's her own problem. Like, she really is. She is just an obstacle for herself. Like, she has such a can't do. You know how you have a can do? She has a can't do. Like, I can't do this. I can't do that. Like, she's not a make it happen type of person. And you could just tell everything is, she just has a total defeatist attitude. Like, she can't do anything. And we see that. But I just found it really funny that Kenya is right. And the girl Rawan is not disagreeing with her on that. She's just telling her what the budget would be. And like the person that I watched before, they were saying the Bailey agency. Is that still open, Cynthia? The Bailey agency? Can you help out your girl? No? No? Okay. Oh, so now I get the context of Sheree saying she already spent $1 million trying to get the get this done. And Kenya's like, if you spend $1 million, bitch, the clothes would be here. They wouldn't be on a plane. And I'm like, you better tell her. You better tell her. So in the confessional, Kenya's laughing, talking about she paid $1 million probably to like a collection agency or something. But my whole thing is this: I feel like Sheree wasn't talking literal or whatever, but she probably should have used a billion. You know how you kind of over exaggerate and you be like, girl, that's $1 billion, right? She just used a million, and or maybe she was just lying. I don't know. But she definitely didn't spend $1 million. Definitely. Yo, oh my God. First of all, the girl, you know what? I can't believe I skipped this shit, honestly. Y'all, the first girl that comes down, Kenya's like, yes, yes. And then she's like, how tall are you? 5'6". And everyone after it, 5'6", 5'6", and then 5'5", 5'4". And Kenya's like, yeah, they're going the wrong way. Because Sheree's like, they're getting shorter. And she's like, yeah, the wrong way. So they finally have one. And they're like, let me see your best Naomi Campbell walk. She does it. Kenya's feeling it. And she's like, do we have your information? They give her give her the headshot. And she's like, your information is not on here. And Rawan is like, no, we have it. My assistant, we have it. And she's like, no, I want it on the picture so that we don't, lose her information. That's not the way I do it. Well, that's the way that I want it to be done. And so she's like telling the girl, put your information on the back of this picture. And then Rawan is like, yeah, if that makes you feel better. And she said, it does make me feel better. And then she was like, well, I'm happy for you. And she's like, I'm happy for me too. And then Rawan is like, confetti. I was like, bitch, Rawan came ready to go. Listen, I'm sure I can't even say she won't win with Kenya because she's on her ass for real. Like, she did way better than Sonya. Tell me she didn't. Y'all, so we get the men coming down and we get a guy, a black guy. And Kenya's like, okay, maybe with some oil. And he's like, more oil. And I'm like, more oil? Where's the oil? Like, I don't see any oil. And she's like, well, Sheree has some. You want her to put it on you? And I'm like, he's about the age of her son or something. Ugh. And Rawan is like, no, we're going to keep it strictly professional. Like, one thing she wasn't doing is backing down to Kenya. So, listen, big ups to Rawan. But So they are talking about, King is like, we need top tier, whatever she needs. She's like, Sheree has no more fails. That's what she says in the confessional. And she tells Rawan, listen, Rawan, I'm glad you're here, but you gotta, get more women in this. And she's like, this isn't my first time at the rodeo. And King is like, well, it looks like your first time at the rodeo. And Sheree just sits back like, You know what's funny? What I really find funny is that Sheree, even though she can be confrontational, I don't think she's super confrontational. Like, I feel like she could jump in there when needed or whatever, but I don't feel like she's super confrontational because you could tell she was like super uncomfortable with the whole back and forth that they were doing. But Kenya, okay, because Kenya's not wrong, y'all. Like, I understand maybe her delivery is too direct and it's too much or whatever, but she's not wrong. So, let's see what happens the day of the show and what Rowan pulls out of her ass, because with Sheree, you're gonna have to pull some clothes out of your ass. But that's it for that. And again, thank you, Michelle, for suggesting I go back and watch, because I got a kick out of it. So next time maybe I will pay a little more attention to the TV and not be all rude fast forwarding. Y'all, let me see if I can find Drew's text, Drew and Sheree's tweets or text or whatever they were doing. All right, y'all will never guess how long it took me to find it. I know it don't seem like it to y'all because I came right back, but when I tell y'all I've been searching for this shit forever. Okay, so we have Drew tweeting a picture of her talking to Sheree at the party, and she captioned, "The moment I realized I wasn't getting my money." And then Sheree said, "Girl, stop. You were paid 1,000 to do a small get together, and anything over that is on you." And then she put, "I'm not buying friends, Real Housewives, Housewives of Atlanta." Then Drew said, "So you wanted cheap party like your cheap joggers, girl, bye." First of all, like your cheap party that you gave Marlo, like the Party City party. But anyway, and then Sheree said, "Just like them cheap ass wigs you were wearing last season." And then she put hashtag respect the OG. And Drew Sidora put, "Nothing cheap about go naked hair. Now you're just a cheap ass hater." And she put, I'm gonna just sit this right here. And she showed a bunch of Sheree's bad wigs. And y'all know Sheree don't usually do a lot of bad wigs, but she had that Elvira wig, that little blonde number so she had a couple of them. And then Sheree said, "Bad hair days and bad wigs are two totally different things. I don't wear cheap wigs." And Drew Sidora says, "Nothing cheap about go naked hair." I'm like, girl, are you being paid to advertise for Portia? Like, really, are you being paid? Um, and then Sheree said, "Girl, you know that hair from last season was not go naked. Ditzy ass can't remember them horrible wigs she had on." So then Drew Sidora put up a thing saying, "How you know you wasn't even there?" I'm sorry. She has some comebacks, y'all. And then Sheree said, "Girl, the world knows. When I came back, I didn't know who you were. I was told that you had cheap ass wigs, bad makeup, and wore fake clothes. I'm glad you're able to rent real designer pieces now." Drew Sidora says, "Happy the world is seeing my glow up, but don't forget, I'm the cheap one here. I'm not the cheap one here." And then she says, oh, she put up a picture of Nicki Minaj as well with that. And then Sheree says, "I'm so glad the world can give you attention since you aren't receiving it at home." Damn, that's good. Julian says, "That's one of my issues, but at least that's not one of my issues, but at least I have a husband." Girl, we don't all want husbands. Sorry. And then she says, "Yeah, you do. One that humiliates you, degrades you, makes you look stupid, make you look weak, and disappears on you." And then she put hashtag I'll pass. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry, that's all I'm saying as well. Kudos to Sheree. And then Drew says, "You have been really invested into my husband all season, but what you need to worry about is your new storyline. Hashtag fake Martell Hope." She got a point there. She got a point there. That is fake as fuck. They have zero chemistry, you guys. Like, as soon as I saw that very first video, I was like, oh, this is publicity. They have zero chemistry, honestly. They look uncomfortable trying to just touch each other. It was nothing there. All right, you guys, I'm done. I can't believe I actually talked for like 15 minutes about this, but it actually really was good. You guys, I can't wait for the reunion. I just can't. Like, they better bring it. I'm not even kidding. Sonya and Kenya, give her the business. Um, excuse me, Sheree and Drew, Sheree, even though I don't like you, give it a business. Like, listen, the OGs better put it down. Y'all better put it down, and I'm not even kidding you. But if you are still here, you are the real MVP. Thank you very much. And you guys, I'll see you in the next video, which will be Married to Medicine. I don't think it'll be that long, though. And thank you guys if you are still here. Y'all, I don't even know what I say going off. Y'all got to give me grace. It was a crazy day at work today. It was Monday. It was a crazy day when I tell you it was so much going on. I had this lady came and she told me that she tested positive. You know, yeah, Miss Angela, I got COVID. Oh, shoot, I said my name. She's like, yeah, I got COVID. And I'm like, okay. And then, like, constantly, she keeps coming back in my office. And I'm like, fuck are you doing? You got COVID. Get out of my office. I'm like, yo, you got to stay in your home. You got to call me or something. Like, you can't keep coming to this office knowing that you have COVID. And y'all, I'm not even, like, seriously scared of COVID like that. I'm not. Like, I've had it twice. And thankfully, you know, I'm still here or whatever. But what are you doing? Like, why are you running around the freaking halls knowing you are positive? Take your ass in the house for 5 days. That's what I told her. Well, I ain't say it just like that, but I was just like, ma'am, you got to stay in the house for at least 5 days. Give me 5 days. And she's like, okay, I promise I will. I promise I will. But anyway, and on top of it, it was just so much stuff today, y'all. But again, if you are still here, I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys for Married to Medicine. Smooches.